Hey guys, we're back here on Park Street. We're about to go in and talk to Melanie. She's the manager of Books Inc. She's going to tell us what the store has to offer and why you should come in and check it out. Let's go. All right. Well, Melanie, thank you so much for having us out here. Appreciate you sitting down and talking about Books Inc. in Alameda.
No problem.
So, can you tell us kind of what you do here?
Well, I am the manager of the store, so I just oversee everything that happens pretty much.
So you're the boss.
I'm the boss, yes.
Great.
So I just make sure everything is getting done correctly, all the receiving and shelving, and making sure my employees are happy, because if you have a happy staff, you have a happy business, is what I've found. And I do like to think of us all of we see each other very often, so we kind of become a family, and we look out for each other, take care of each other.
Right. So there's a number of Books Inc. locations around the Bay, right? And you said you've got kind of a family here in Alameda. How many people work here, and then how big is the company as a whole?
We have 11 stores altogether.
Oh, wow.
And 2 of them are in the San Francisco airport.
Okay.
And the rest are spread out around the Bay. I've got 12 people working here, not including myself.
Okay, so it's a pretty good size operation that you have to manage here.
Yes.
And being that we're on Park Street, I mean, you have an amazing location and just a huge showcase for the books right out front. Can you tell us about that, as far as how many people come in every day, like how that traffic works, and like why you think a lot of people tend to come in?
We get a lot of foot traffic because we are right around restaurants. We have a lot of restaurants that we're right next door to or across the street from, and people come in when they're waiting, and so we get a lot of people in that way. And they're usually with children, and they're trying to keep their kids, from getting hangry.
Sure.
And themselves from getting too hangry as well. And so they're usually looking for things to keep their kids occupied or keep them interested. So we get a lot of foot traffic that way. We also, Alameda is a big family town. There's a lot of families that live here, and we have a pretty good kids section, pretty big. And so we get a lot of foot traffic because of that. We also host events here, and we have book clubs that are held here. Some are held by us personally, and some we just have book clubs that meet here, and we like to offer that for them. That's how we get most of our people.
Nice. So it's somewhat of a meeting spot here, either pre-dinner or for the book club or something like that. We know, I mean, there's a huge conversation about online retailers versus the brick and mortar, right?
Yes.
And Books Inc., you said, has 11 locations in the Bay Area, and you guys sell books, among other things. How do you feel like your business and this location in particular has changed with the advent of things like Amazon and some of these other options for folks who want to get books?
Okay, well, I don't know. I wouldn't say that we have changed so much. It's because we have always been a neighborhood store. Okay. That's why, although we have 11 different stores, you won't find the same things in all of our stores.
Oh, interesting.
Because we cater to each neighborhood. And so that's one of the things that I think people are starting to see, even though Amazon is still a big deal and people are still using it.
Right.
I think more and more people are starting to realize, Amazon's not going to host an event for you. Amazon's not going to host a book fair for you, which is things that we do. Amazon's not going to donate to your local organization or anything like that. They're most likely that's not going to happen.
Right.
And those are all things that we do, and I think people really are starting to realize that that's important and that they need to support their local bookstores or any business.
Coffee shop, restaurant, grocer, etc., right? Yes.
And I think, the smaller the town, not that Alameda is that small, but
it has that feel.
It has that feel. I think they like to stay. People like to support what's in their town even more,
Definitely.
And I think that's becoming even more of a thing throughout the Bay Area, throughout California, where we're really trying to support each other.
Especially being here that we're on an island and we're literally surrounded by water.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people who live and work here who don't leave the island for weeks.
Exactly.
Right. So you came from Berkeley originally. Now you're in this location. and you said something interesting where the things you offer are not the same across store to store to store. What are some of those differences here in Alameda, and what are the things that the locals are asking for that you guys are catering to?
Okay, one of the big differences I've noticed between Berkeley and Alameda is, well, we changed locations in the Berkeley store from where we were, and now the Berkeley store is now in Shattuck.
Okay.
And so they're very into what's going on in politics. That's very much current events and what's going on there, and they're looking for the next new current event book, whoever.
Some biographies.
Not so much biographies, more just like what's going on in the world. They're really trying to stay aware of what's happening, environmental things as well.
Okay, got it.
Not that doesn't happen in Alameda. It's
Right.
just not as big of a section here.
Right.
But Alameda loves history. They love their biographies. They love war histories is what I've noticed a lot.
Interesting.
A lot of naval history as well.
That makes sense, being that we have the naval station up at the other end of the island, and
so we get a lot
we're
of
surrounded
that.
by water, so
Yep.
yeah.
So we get a lot of those lovers coming in, and it helps that one of my staff members is super into it, and he has a
Perfect.
lot of good conversations with people, especially little kids that
Yeah.
I've seen. That's been great. And then, Alameda is definitely into their mysteries, which is great for me because mysteries are more my thing as well. So I've had a lot of good conversations with customers about that.
I believe it. So on top of the physical books that you carry in the sections and how much physical shelf space you give things, you guys are literally having these conversations with customers on topics, and then you slowly can start to tailor what the store is going to be made up of based on those conversations.
Exactly.
And is there, with the kids side of things, you said a lot of the kids are into the naval history thing. What are some of the other kind of family friendly or the younger kids stuff that you see as being very popular right now?
Oh, right now, a lot of things that are popular, we have a display in our kids section right now, are strong women.
Okay.
Bold women in history, strong women in history, sports, all of that. That has been a really big seller this year.
Oh, wow.
And we've got a lot of great books that have been published so beautifully, and they've been selling. And one of our local authors does a book, Rad Women from A to Z.
Okay.
And she is a local to Alameda. Those sell wonderfully.
I believe
she
it.
stops in and signs copies for us a lot. So we definitely appreciate that. There are also just regular picture books that are doing well. We had one that was called Creepy Underpants. That did very well for Halloween especially, but it's still selling very well.
Oh, wow.
It's a good one. It is a good one.
That sounds like a great white elephant gift.
Yeah, it's a great one. It is a great one. And then there's another one that's been very popular, which is Dragons Love Tacos. Which, can you blame them? Who doesn't love tacos?
Yeah, that's true.
But that's been a popular one. And then we also have, what we call our young adult section and our middle reader section. And those each have their own popular things.
Sure.
John Green is real big in young adult. We also had a new Philip Pullman book come out, which has been a big deal. And then in middle reader, we've got anything by Chris Colfer has been blowing up.
Wow.
He's doing well.
It sounds like you guys really turn things over pretty regularly based on what's being released, and you can be fairly nimble as to what you're providing as far as a selection goes. Being that this building isn't exactly a huge retail space, I'm sure you're limited by the number of books you guys can put out. So then, when do you decide to maybe pull something off a shelf or replace a display or something like that?
Well, that's a good question. And I used to be the buyer in Berkeley before I became the manager here. And the way that we decide what needs to be pulled is really if something hasn't sold in a certain amount of time, then we might pull it.
Okay.
If it's something that we, as a staff, someone on our staff loves, we might keep it a little bit longer just to see if we can really hand sell it and get it out there.
Okay.
But usually if something doesn't sell for a little while, we'll pull it and try something new. Or if we think that this is a really good book and I don't know why it hasn't sold yet, sometimes, like you said, changing up a display, putting it in a different spot, you'd be surprised how just because you moved it from one spot to another, it started selling.
Absolutely.
So that's another reason why we like to change things around in the store. Things get changed a lot.
Yeah. And so I bet that look and that feel, and not only the way the lighting is when you come in, but then the staff and the way they greet you and the way they interact with you throughout the store is a big part of your guys' experience.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Very cool. So kind of shifting gears here to Alameda, I know you said you've given us some specifics about some of the tastes of your clientele and what they're into, mysteries versus politics, for example. Generally speaking, what do you feel is something special about Alameda that is unique to this island and unique to the people that come into the store?
For me, what I have noticed, and especially because I worked in that Berkeley location, which is very well known for being diverse and open-minded, when I started working here, I feel like I have seen more diversity here than I saw at the Berkeley location, hands down. So I thought that was a very surprising and great thing to find out about coming to this location.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I would have thought it would have been flipped.
Yeah.
You know? So that's been unique. Also, the amount of people who love like the personalized island stuff that we sell here.
Yeah.
Like from All Good Living, which is another store. They have stuff here that we also sell. That's another thing that that's unique and surprising to me. I've never seen so many people love so much stuff. And I mean, Oakland has a lot of pride too, but I feel like the island is. Yeah. I see so many people with those shirts on. The
shirts that say the island with the Park Street Bridge and the circle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or their sweatshirts or mugs, all of those things. So that was. It's nice to see all of that pride.
We bought a few of those for Christmas and are handing them out as well. So I believe that there is an interesting sense of pride of ownership here on the island that you're right, you don't see in some of these other towns around the Bay Area, and it's interesting because you get a lot of people who go to a specific college and they wear the Berkeley gold and blue, or I went to another school, so we were purple and gold. I almost had a Freudian slip there.
Hey, purple. I'm all about it.
I can see you're really into that color. I knew I liked you for some reason.
There you go.
Anyways, so that whole that pride thing is very unique to have to just a place that someone lives. So you see the bumper stickers and the T-shirts and the whole thing, and people are like very proud of this thing that they have here in Alameda.
Yes.
And so and based on some of the interviews we've done as well, there's a very unique pride to that community, to this community specifically.
I would say so. Yeah, I've been very surprised by it. Yeah.
So you just received a pretty unique honor here recently from the town of Alameda, being recognized as a business leader. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
So there's the Downtown Alameda Business Association, also to shorten it, DABA. DABA. And they hold mixers and tell you what's going on with other businesses and what's happening in Alameda and keeping you up to date and keeping you safe and letting you know if there was some crime happening around your business. They let you know. And they even had the police come out and talk to us and ask us if there was anything we were concerned about.
Sure.
So I really appreciated that. They also put on events during the year, and right now we're doing a holiday window contest.
Okay.
And so they've just been really great and helpful. And one of the members, Janet, she started around the same time that I started in Alameda. And so I haven't been here for very long, and I just was not expecting to get an award.
Yeah.
I was going to a holiday party, and I was very happy to go to it.
Yeah.
Very thankful. But then when I got there, I knew they were giving out awards, but like I said, I've only been here since the end of July.
Sure.
And so I just wasn't thinking that they were going to give out an award, but lo and behold, they gave me Retail Business
of the Year. That's amazing.
And that was pretty. I was pretty happy about that.
Yeah,
and
as
unexpected.
You should be, yeah.
So that was pretty great, and I've been working hard to make a difference here and change things up. So that was nice to be recognized.
Since you showed up, what were some of the things that you feel like you changed to then earn the award?
Oh, well, I definitely feel like the store hadn't been switched up in a while. Like,
as far as the displays and the layout?
displays and the layout, we have a lot of regulars who come in, so it's easy to keep things the same because you want people to come in and be able to find things. And that's understandable. But also, sometimes it just is boring. And you got to switch things up. And I came in and immediately switched how we did some of our displaying of sale books and things like that, and making window displays that I think are, bring people in. We've had quite a few that caught people's eye, that made them come into the store. And then I got rid of a couple of fixtures in our store that opened up the floor. This all sounds very boring to people who probably who don't care about that, but it was very exciting for me.
I mean, the flow of a retail space is so important, and then not only that, but it creates this interesting ambiance. And as far as a community meeting space, you have your book clubs here. You have people coming in from just waiting for a reservation to be called, and you want them to feel like they're going to stay longer and have a space that is comfortable and they can find things and is interesting as well.
Exactly.
So, kind of on that note, where do you see the store going? I know that you guys have a larger brand that probably directs some of those decisions, but it sounds like you have a fair amount of autonomy here in the Alameda community. So, where do you see that going for you guys?
Well, I'm definitely hoping to make some more connections event-wise and holding, since we are a bigger family area, I want to have more kids events and bigger kids events, and I've definitely asked the head office to send me some more larger, well-known kids authors, which they already have. We had David Shannon in November, and that went over
very cool,
very well. I'm also looking to pair up with the Alameda Library to hold events there and maybe even do like a coupon sort of situation, but we're still in talks about that.
Sure.
So just things like that, having better events, having the books that people really want in the store.
Yeah.
And just continue to cater to the neighborhood and making sure that our customer service is outstanding, because just the last couple of weeks I've had people coming in who we've helped say to us, like, oh, we don't get help like this anymore. That's not what happens when we go to stores anymore. And I'm always really surprised to hear that, and I'm like, well, we're here to help you.
Yeah.
So don't hesitate to ask a question.
And what do you feel like is challenging about your model and your business in general that maybe doesn't get communicated to your regulars or your one-off customers that you wish you could communicate to them better?
One of the things that's sometimes challenging is that people think that because you work in the bookstore that you may have read every single book in here.
Okay.
And so that's sometimes challenging, trying to talk to customers about things, and they sometimes are surprised, like, oh, you've never read that?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I mean, maybe I haven't read that.
How many books do you guys have in here, by the way?
Yeah, I don't even know exactly the amount, but like thousands.
Yeah, I was going to say
thousands
and thousands. I mean, there's probably 1,000 on this, just in this little aisle here.
We have quite a few.
Yeah.
And our inventory is always changing, forever changing. And so it's just, that's one thing that I would, that is sometimes difficult.
Cut me a break, I only have so many hours to read here.
And then it does get us down sometimes when people are like, what, you've never heard of this book? And we're like, well, oh, are we bad readers now? So just know that just because we haven't heard of it or read it doesn't mean that it's not a good book or whatnot, or that we don't read. We just may not have read everything that you've read. Oh, and please try to remember your titles, people. Coming in asking me.
The one book by the guy who
it was
did
green.
This.
I can't help, but I will try to help you as much as possible.
Okay.
But yeah, those are some things that can be a little bit frustrating.
Absolutely, and that it's sort of an interesting detective work for you as well at that time.
Yes.
I mean, and the nice thing is you do have a fairly large staff, so I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but between the the group of you could probably solve almost
Oh
any
yes,
book problem,
with
right?
our minds put together, we usually are able to figure out something for someone. And one of the things that I love about our store is our staff recs that we have, which you've probably seen throughout the store. They're just little cards where we write what we've loved about the book, and
you put it up on the shelf.
And we
somewhere?
put it up on the shelf.
Well, there's a couple.
There's
think
a couple
right
up
over here.
there. We have a few. We have a whole table that's dedicated to our staff recs that gets a lot of love throughout the year.
Got it.
So we
That's
love
amazing.
that, and it makes everybody feel good when a book you love sells.
Yeah.
So that's always happy.
I believe it. It's
Yeah.
like I had a part in that.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Well, Melanie, thank you so much for sitting down. And is there any parting thoughts or anything that you feel like we missed on, or you would like to share about the store, about your experience here in Alameda?
I would just say that I love working in the book industry. I love being the manager of the store. I like dealing with customers and talking to people. It's great, and I really appreciate people coming out to support us. And every ounce of support that we get only makes it better for us and makes us able to cater to the neighborhood even more.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for
Thank you.
sitting down with us, and
No
have a
problem.
good rest of your day.
Thanks, you too.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the interview with Melanie. Again, we're here on Park Street at Books Inc. Like, comment, and share with the hashtag in the description, and we will enter you automatically to win a gift card to Books Inc. so you can get a copy of your favorite book, calendar, or magazine, whatever you choose. So until then, this is Hans Struzina with the East Bay Home Company, signing off.